Good morning. Good morning, Lori. Kirstine here from the Goodbye Good Girl Project. Happy Monday and happy year anniversary of being at home for some of us. For some of us, it's been longer. For me, this is probably right around the anniversary. I wanted to talk to you about something that I posted that yesterday that I wanted to ask you this question. It's very, very key. What kind of quality of life do you want? And I mean that in this specific way. Do you want to have a life where you're safe from life, where you're protected from the harsh things of life? I mean, we all want that, I know. But what kind of life do you want? Do you want to live a life that is protected, that is sort of prophylactic? Or do you want a life that is fully alive? That is not a small question. It's not a small question at all, right? It's actually chock full of other questions we can ask ourselves, like, well, what if this and what if that? Well, not if this, or I might if you tell me this, or I don't understand that. So let me figure that out, and then I can answer that question. It is a big question. I thought that was what I was going to talk to you about only. And then I woke up this morning and I started seeing different articles because I was researching for the book I'm writing. I was researching for the chapter that is all about women and how we have been mistreated everywhere. But specifically for my book, in business and in the way that society views us. So then I thought, well, really what I want to talk to them about today is how we need to stand up for ourselves, how we women need to stand for ourselves and men need to stand for us and with us. Critical. Then I realized these two seemingly separate topics were the same. What kind of life do you want to have, and how much are you willing to hold your feet to the fire, to every day look at how courageously am I living me? In the description of this talk, I said that I would show you, I would tell you how to judge whether you're being courageous, and here it is. If you have a central belief and you are consistently not living it, you're consistently breaking that rule, that belief, that alignment that you say you have, if you are consistently breaking it, you are not being courageous. It's very simple when you look at it in that way. You're not being courageous. Now, does that mean that you should be shamed? You should be punished? No. What that means is you now have some information. You now understand that there's something you say you believe, but you're not living it. So that gives you the information that something different needs to happen. You have to do something different, right? I'm trying to think of a really good example for you. And I'll bring you one from mine. I really do believe that I have the right to my opinion. Now that doesn't mean I have the right, to me, this does not mean I just have the right to think it, but I don't have the right to speak it. I have the right to express my opinion. Now, I have other beliefs that impinge on that, beliefs that have to do with being respectful and that have to do with not allowing myself to be selfish about whether if I feel angry, I don't get to yell and scream at you. That is not okay. That's called abuse. And I do not believe in being abusive. So if I believe that I'm allowed to have my opinion, when I want to be courageous about speaking my opinion, what happens then? Do I speak my opinion or do I hold back and say, I think people might not like this, what I have to say. People might not like me, right? The courage comes when you commit to saying, I want to be all of me. I want to live a life where I'm fully alive. That is a big deal. It's very important. You get to live this life as you. You don't get to live another life as you. This is it. As they say, life is not a dress rehearsal. Now, when I was a kid, when I was 11, my mother got sick with cancer. And for the next 11 years, I grew up in a stew of fear and of awareness that my mother could die. And in fact, she did when I was 21. It really, it really spoke to me of do it now or don't do it. Do it now, do it now, do it now. Now that carried within it its own challenges of working too hard, trying to go too fast, things like that. But I think that the lesson that is really good to hold from something like that, if it's happened in your life, is the time is now. What kind of life do you want to live? I look around at the world and I see that most people really are not aware of that option of really being themselves. They're just not really aware of it. Or maybe they haven't been introduced to it. But I find myself sometimes in despair because there are so many people who are not living up to who they really are. And instead, they're living down to the base emotions. And the base emotions are important, they carry information. But that's what they're for. They carry information. They're not here for us to spew all over people whatever we decide to. That's not courage. That's not real courage. Real courage is to see where you falter. Real courage is to see, wow, that's a place within me. I don't want to look. I don't want to, but I'm going to figure out a way to do it. That's real courage because it's the courage to transform and be yourself. What are your beliefs? What are your beliefs about other people? What are your beliefs about life itself? What are your beliefs about equality of pay, equality of person? What are your beliefs about cruelty? If you are not living up to those or attempting, I'm not saying you're supposed to be perfect. I say this a lot because we don't know this. We forget all the time because it's not what we're taught. I'm not talking about us being perfect. I'm talking about us making the effort. Just thinking about it, just wishing for it isn't doing it. It's not going to do it. It's just not going to do it. We have to actually practice it. So the next time you see somebody homeless on the street, if your belief is they are human beings just like I am a human being, try smiling at one. Try talking to one. Try connecting. Live your beliefs. That's the greatest courage of all. It is the core courage. Courage to live as you, as who you really say and believe that you are. And in doing so, you will give yourself so much growth, so much confidence, so much care, so much challenge. That's why the two are the same. That's why do you want a life of being fully alive is aligned with, are you ready to be you? Because if you're not ready to be you, you won't grow the way you want to grow. And if you are ready to be you, expect a lot of pushback from within yourself, a lot of doubts that you're going to have to address. You're going to have to become alive to who you are and where the parts of you have been instructed to push back to keep you safe. And you're going to have to make an active choice. Do I want to be safe, or do I want to be real while I'm here? Do I want to be a cellophaned person when I leave, or do I want to be like the Velveteen Rabbit? Just loved furless. Just somebody who has come into the world to be me, and I refuse to settle for anything less. And then, if you decide that you want the latter, you want to be you and nothing less than you, find those people who resonate with you. Find those people who want the same thing you want, and don't let them go. You will need them. You will need them so that you can say, in those moments when you have people pushing back against you and saying, how could you have changed? Why are you saying these things? How could you be so pushy when all you're being is stating your facts, stating your truths? Or when your insides are saying, I shouldn't have said that. Oh my God, people will hate me. If you have your people with you, they're going to go, that sounds like nonsense. That sounds like the inner voice of fear. Don't do that. We don't agree with it. And you'll be like, okay, are you ready? Are you ready to embrace your courage? It can be done in so many ways. So that's what I have for you this Monday, as far as the things for you to think about this week and for you to step into this week. I also want to let you know that my YouTube channel, I am seeking women who are doing business differently. I am seeking those women who are not only doing their business systems, their business structures differently, but also women who have stepped out of the norms, the 1950s norms of be quiet, be invisible, be polite, and are stepping into self-expression in a really bold way. I'm looking for you to interview you. And I'm also looking for people who are interested in the channel to please subscribe and help me get to 100 people. That's my current goal. The other thing is, if you are interested in being interviewed, there is a form to fill out. Here is the bit.ly link for that form, and I would love it if you would fill that out and let me know what's up, what you think about these topics I've said, and what you are doing that is doing business differently for you. There's no age limit on this, so if you are a woman doing business differently, I want to talk to you. Additionally, I'm about to interview a man who is doing business very differently and with a totally masculine, feminine balance. So I will probably be starting a separate wing of this, the men doing business differently, because we need to do everything differently now. And that is not just a nice idea. That is something we have to courageously step into. It's just easier when we do it together. So have a wonderful week, and think about all the different ways that you can make little changes that are going to have big impacts, because you need you and we need you. All right. Love and Moxie to you. Bye now.